back to this thing. Hello to everyone who is joining straight away. Hello. Time to spend the first few minutes, as always, doing the whole setup thing, because it still can't work unless I'm actually streaming. Yeah, I need to get that title amended. Yeah. That's it. Live stream, tick boxes. That one will disappear. Got that one there. Translation on. There we go. So to anybody who's watching the stream, refresh it real quick because I've been able to put the full title in. I still don't like how with the tablet or on any mobile device you're limited to putting 60 characters in the title, where on PC you can put 100 in. What's the point in that? Oh well, it's all been up to date. So let me just make sure it is actually going on here. Yeah, that's all good there. Right, let's get the stream up on this end and carry on. Volume will be down. Check. RK and Seth, hello. Good to see you both. Oh, it has been quite the day. I have been not that busy today. I've been doing stuff, but I haven't been moving at all because Lord knows it's way too hot to do anything. So here in the UK, we are suffering from a heat wave. At the moment, it is 25 degrees Celsius. My PC said 28 was the highest it got to today. I think, well, my phone said 30, but my PC said 28 at the same time. So I'm going to assume it did get to 30 because there was other people around the UK who said yes, it's getting up to 30 degrees. And the horrible thing is, it's only going to get hotter tomorrow. Potentially, it's going to reach 40 degrees tomorrow. Ooh, bugger. That's going to make me doing my job tomorrow night hell. I'm not looking forward to next week, it's got to be said. On the plus side, I've just taken this out of the freezer. I've put this in the freezer for the past 3 hours to cool it down quicker. I remember making a mistake one time by leaving that overnight. I thought, okay, well, putting it in the fridge overnight, yes, it's cold, but it's not really cold enough. I wanted it to be a bit colder, a bit more chilled. So there was one time where I put that in the freezer overnight. I think, yeah, it's definitely going to be way cooler. It's definitely going to have a bit of ice build up, like a slushy sort of thing. That's going to be amazing. And that was the day where I learned you don't put carbonated drinks in the freezer. It was a very delicious and wonderful explosion, but I basically lost and forfeited a drink. In the US, it's going to get hotter. It's getting hotter everywhere. Basically, I think next week we are royally gunted because I think next week in particular is the sort of ultimate heat wave week. It's not. Oh, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Oh dearie dear. But as you can see by the title of this live stream, recently I've been getting back on. Oh Christ, that's the thing I need to do before we carry on. I need to ping everyone. Haha. I forgot about that. Live now. There we go. 205 people in the server. Lego Railway Series, hello, good to see you. What else is going on in Discord at the moment? Okay. Now that we've done the ping, let's get some more people in here. So hello once again to Lego Railway Series. Good to see you made it. Seth says, my region that hasn't hit above 7 degrees Celsius for the past 2 weeks. You lucky turd. I want my British weather back. I want cold, miserable rain because that's tolerable. This is, I hate it. No Brit likes the heat. It's just the worst. Business is just location and advertisement. Yes, it is. This is awful business at the moment because weather is not good British business. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so big window over there is open. I I hesitantly decided to keep my bedroom door shut because, you know, nobody else in the house will probably want to listen to me ramble on the internet for an hour. But yeah, the window again is open. If you hear loud noises outside, I do apologize, but I'm not closing that window for the life of me. Just I will die as a puddle in this room if I close that window. Oh, speaking of windows, okay, so if I tilt this way, so you can see this that's a window there. Now behind my bed, you can see Lego boxes and just a bit more tucked away, I suppose, on this side, sort of in that corner. I've got two big Lego shopping bags filled with sets that are sealed. One of them is Ninjago sets because I bought the entire new wave. I love those sets so much. I'm going to keep them sealed as well because they're my babies. And again, all the other sets are just cool sets I thought looked nice. I thought, yeah, I'll keep them, but I'm going to keep them sealed. And anyway, in that corner, it's already crazy warm. It's not that bad, but again, if I do, well, I can't actually show you, but it's not okay. Sorry, I got worried for a second. Anyway, I've got black card and duct tape kind of covering over that window because the blind on that window there is god awful. It's just the worst. It's very transparent. I remember before I covered that up where I thought to myself, man, it's still so hot in this room. Why is it so warm? So much light and heat gets through that blind. When I eventually got that covered up, it genuinely made a difference. But it kind of started peeling off a little bit earlier today. I thought, hey, why is it so bright in that corner all of a sudden? What's going on? Oh, great, the seal's gone. So I buried my head in that corner just to try and get the duct tape back on the sort of wooden frame. And good lord, my head was cooking in a box. It was not good. But yes, that blind does inevitably need changing and updating to a blackout blind because the fact that so much heat can get through that window, even with the blind, again, I can't show you here now, but the fact that I had to make some kind of seal is ridiculous. It's just stupid, and I hate it. Right. Now that it is out of the way. Okay, in chat says, "Hey Luke, which Thomas character's whistle or horn do you favour the most?" I would probably say Henry's, but that also comes from Henry's music or the Flying Kipper theme, whichever one you wish to call it. Whenever I listen to Henry's theme in my head, I kind of listen to play back a couple of character themes in my head. James Gordon and Donald and Douglas in particular do come to mind because they are some bangers when it comes to music. But whenever I kind of play those songs back in my head, I always at some point add the train's whistles too. And for me, I think Henry's whistle is just a really nice sounding one. So yeah, if I had to pick one for a whistle, yeah, Henry is pretty good. And speaking of Thomas characters, what an excellent segue. I have been getting back, as the title of this live stream says, I've been getting back on the Lego Thomas building binge. I have a couple of models right next to me that I have been rebuilding and newly built. Let's start off with the newly built one. It's not the one you think, especially if anybody is in my Discord server, which I'm pretty sure is everybody watching anyways. So let me make sure I'm not breaking anything. No, it's all falling. So first of all, everybody knows that I have built Douglas. Lovely, isn't it? Douglas has a face, which is, again, just the best. But, you know, he's a twin. And after a long while, I got around to rebuilding this model. And here is Donald. Just to prove it, I did post this on my Instagram as well, so you probably should have seen it there. Two different boilers. Here we go, Donald and Douglas. The boilers are basically identical, bar the handrail pieces are a slightly different color. And has a front magnet. So I can double head these. Well, the Donald boiler, so to say. I mean, you could literally change these out, well, swap these out for whichever tender. So Douglas could have the front magnet or Donald could have the front magnet. It doesn't necessarily matter. But Yeah, 2 boilers, and again, to prove it, hang on. 2 tenders. Yeah, this was really fun to rebuild the tender because this tender shape is gorgeous. I love it. Doing the lining as well was actually quite fun because when it comes to building Lego trains, a lot of the LUKR members are surprisingly not too fond of doing it. So a lot of them at least kind of find it a bit tedious. There are definitely members that are good at doing lining, but I think I can safely say that I'm definitely one of the better members in the club who can do lining on models. And I definitely enjoy it more. I've definitely gotten used to it because of all the models I've built. So yeah, there's that. Oh, pardon me. More models to show, but let's go back to the chat first. Seth says, my favourite theme is Oliver's Escape theme. That is a banger, yes. That's Season 3 theme, isn't it? RK says, Luke, have you thought about building Bill and Ben? Yes, they are on the to-build list. I have bought the push-along toys for Emily, Bill and Ben. I got another toy to put the face on Donald because, you know, that's built. I just need to put a face on it now. And it turns out I did buy a toy for Devious Diesel. So I'm going to have to build that in the future. But I know how I'm going to go about making Diesel. But yeah, Bill and Ben, they're on their way. I need to sort out the wheels first because I've got some medium-sized drivers, but I want to try and be consistent. If I can't get what I'm looking for by the end of tonight, I've got a backup plan, so that's okay. But yeah, Bill and Ben, yeah, it would be nice to kind of get on with them. I've seen Lego Railway Series. If you're still here, I've definitely seen him on Discord post pictures of his take on Bill and Ben, and they look amazing. But naturally, his models are so crammed with details anyway that naturally they are good looking. But the overall shape of Bill and Ben that he's made, it's really good. I want to try and replicate that. Josh, my good friend, he's here. Hello, good to see you. Can you make flatbeds of pipes and then remake the train from Emily? It's not a bad idea, you know. I don't think I'm going to get around to making this flatbed, sadly, because I am way less motivated to make rolling stock than I am with locomotives. I do know a way of how to make those pipes, but I think to make as many as I want to, it's going to be quite expensive. And, well, I don't know. But yeah, that would be an interesting thing to try and recreate one day. I suppose if I could try and find an easy and cheap enough design. Yeah, but that's going to be an interesting trio. I've actually been getting more and more excited to make Emily because Emily is a Sterling single, which is a very elegant looking locomotive, but it also looks to be a really difficult one to build too. However, I'm still confident that I can make a decent model for Emily. So I suppose we can figure out how we're going to make it and just go from there. Seth says, oh, that reminds me, I've started working on 2 of my bogey bolsters. Bogey bolsters? What's that for? Well, I suppose you'll tell me in the chat in a second. Whilst you're doing that, let's move on to the next models. So, Donald was the first to be built. And then I thought to myself, well, I would like to kind of make a change. So, again, fellow fellow LUKR member Trace, Pierce Bricks, has got his own pannier tank. And I think he remade his to use standard large drive wheels. So I decided to do that with Duck. And quite frankly, I love it. I think this pannier tank model that I've made looks gorgeous anyways. I literally could just take off the face and use it as a standard pannier tank. But obviously it's Duck, I'm going to keep it like this anyways. But when I hold it, well, I can't exactly... Yeah, I suppose I have to do it this way. But, you know, this is basically the angle that I would be seeing it at. But, well, at the same time, I don't suppose that matters because I've seen this for a few days anyways. But seeing it with these large drive wheels, it suits it perfectly. It's just so much more natural and better looking than the medium drivers it had previously. It's just really good. Again, I love how I've been able to kind of capture this shape for the pannier tank. Duck is definitely one of my best Lego Thomas characters I've ever built. I'm so happy with this model. Like every time I pick it up, I'm just so amazed with myself for the fact that, yeah, I built this. It's amazing. I love him. Ah, I love you, Duck. So Duck got an upgrade, and I've got those medium drive wheels set aside for another. What am I? But that means I've got medium blinds somewhere. What are they? Oh, I gave them to Donald. That's why. That makes sense. Okay. Anyways, back on with this. So this is a thing I did today. What was it? Oh yeah, there was another model. If enough people pester me in chats, depending on how many people are here to begin with, but depending on how many people pester me in chats, that specifically, I might be able to show off my latest creation. But another thing I was able to do today is modify and upgrade Oliver. So straight away, there is no noticeable difference. Originally, this was 6 studs wide, and it kind of still is. The cab, the main body, and the boiler, all this kind of top detail along here, that's all the same. That's been untouched. But if I kind of do it this way, well, that's a good. I can use the reflection of the TV screen, just the monitor. You kind of see here and here. The running board has now been taken to 7 studs wide. So this is now technically correct with all my other models. But looking at reference pictures for Oliver, there is still that sort of lip. And you know how Thomas has that sort of lip on his running board? Oliver has the same detail. So I thought, okay, that means I don't have to touch this at all, which makes my job a lot easier. But yeah, I can just remake the running boards. That'll be good. And I thought to myself, I don't want to reapply the lining tape. I'm going to be modifying Percy to 7 studs wide as well. But yeah, it was a bit interesting of how I wanted to go about this. And when it came to looking at reference pictures for Oliver as well, I saw there was a difference in the model version and the CGI version. So the CGI version more noticeably has this sort of lip with the running board. I think the model version does too, but I think it's a bit more pronounced in the CGI, or at least with the pictures I was able to find with, you know, different angles seeing Oliver at. It was more pronounced in the CGI pictures. But the running board on the CGI model as well is all in black. There's no grey details anywhere on the running board when it comes to the CGI model. So I thought, okay, that makes it even better for me because I don't have to do any black lining tape details on the side to kind of hide anything. This works brilliantly. I'm very happy with that. So it is still accurate to the character, but it's now technically a CGI version of the character, which again I can live with because, you know, it's Oliver. I know what he looks like. You know what he looks like, and that's all okay. Another couple of details I've changed. First of all, I've been able to add these not side rods, they're handlebars. That's the word I used. Next to the cab. So that's just again to break up that sort of bland green wall going along the side. And it's impossible to see on camera, but the buffer beam here is kind of, it goes like that. There's like a small little gap where this is tucked in ever so slightly. And again, that is accurate to the CGI version of the character. So I saw that and thought, yeah, that's another cool thing I could actually do to make it more accurate to this iteration. And yeah, that's a very simple but very pleasant rebuild for Oliver. 7 studs wide. Lovely. So that's 2 out of 3 green tank engine boys that have been rebuilt. My Percy model is on the floor over there, pending rebuild. And that's going to get the 7 wide treatment as well. I still find it amusing that it's a green tank engine, so, you know, 3 green tank engines have recently received upgrade treatments. Can we just take a moment as well, just to behold and take in my 2 Great Western tank engines? There's a lot of times where I think to myself, I would love to make a realistic version of these models, and not in Thomas character form, but the thing is, the way I've built the Thomas characters satisfies me enough where I don't want to build the realistic version of these locomotives. I'd much prefer the Thomas characters too, so, you know, there's a little extra bonus thing going on there. Oh, duck's fallen over. Oh, I just love my pannier tank. Well, realistic in the sense that it's not a Thomas character, basically. Let's catch up with the chat. RK says, if you get Emily's wheelhouse right, she'll look great. That's going to be the big challenge. But seeing how I've been able to make the precedents, I think I'll be all right. I do have an idea, like the way I made the what's it called, the splasher, and that's it, the big splasher for the precedents. I could potentially try and use that again for Emily, but I don't know how well it's going to go. I will definitely have to look into getting some trimline tape in. I think I'm going to go with dark green for Emily. But yeah, there's a lot to think about before I actually dig into that model. A couple of things I need to get. But yeah, I have a few ideas for that. Goes on to say, now that's the Great Western Way. Yeah, they are some good looking models. Oliver isn't scaled correctly in CGI. Yeah, I think so. I remember there's an episode where Skiff, the sort of the sailboats, kind of stops Oliver, and is it that episode? No, there is an episode. I think it's where Spencer gets caught kind of showing off. Duck and Oliver almost collide, and Oliver is really low down, which is a bit weird looking. My Oliver is definitely taller in that sense, mainly because, with the Lego behavior, you can't exactly tuck wheels into the spatial details because, it's still solid bricks. But yeah, I think that one, my model at least, has been scaled relatively well, especially putting the two models together, well, and with other models that I've made too. But yeah, I definitely can see that's the Oliver model in CGI isn't scaled correctly, at least with height. Lego Railway Series goes on to say, I've got loads of work in progress. I've got work in progress of Oliver and Duck. Basically a 1400 and a 5700. I would love to see your pannier tank. I think Trace has got a pretty damn good 1400, but I would love to see your take of a pannier tank because I think you could really smash it out of the park. It is a good looking engine. Speaking of good looking engines, hang on. Oliver is much further along. Yeah, fair enough. Right. Do I show you? Do I show you? So, my latest creation is in my hands. A little bit dusty. How was it dusty? I finished it this morning. That's alright though. RK also says, in Spencer's VIP, Oliver looks tiny compared to Duck. Yes, that is the episode I'm thinking of, where basically Duck and Oliver come bumper to bumper. Duck's face is about there, but Oliver's face is about there. It's, again, the height thing is completely off whack. My hair as well. What's going on here? Okay. Anyway, what are we talking about though? Yeah, this thing in my hands. So, my latest creation. I started building this last night. Went into what time did I go? It was about 1:30 last night, like 1:30 a.m. where I finished the kind of main body, and I went about doing all of the lining details and all the kind of final little bits this morning to complete the model properly. This is a character I wasn't able to find a toy for the face for. Yeah, do you want to see something? Do you want to see another model? Do you want to see something really cool? This is why I said, if you want to see what I've made, I want people to pester me in chat, because at least that way I will know that there is enough interest to want to see it. A bit more interaction too, So I'll tell you what I'll do. Oh, I'm so happy with this model too. I'm going to keep this model here. I'm going to keep that there. If I can get at least three different people in chat to say that they want to see that model in particular, then I'll show you, okay? So we got one person already in the forum of the Lego Railway series. Two more people if you want to see that model, then go for... Why did that... Because... Okay, hang on. Okay, because you misspelled diesel with a W, it kind of marked it as potentially offensive, which is so... Well, straight away, three people want to... Okay, fine, okay. Are you sure you're ready for this? Because you're not going to see this coming, but oh my god, you're gonna love it. I really hope the lighting works as well. Let me going for well, technically RK hasn't seen it either because yeah, I've posted this in that worked. I posted this in another Discord server which is dedicated to Lego Thomas and Friends models. So I think there I don't really care when it comes to spoiler stuff, but obviously with my main audience I'm a bit more cautious, which is a bit of a weird thing for me to say. But anyways, ready? Ta-da! Salty, a BR class 07. Look at him. I am so happy with this model. Now I don't build diesels, obviously, but I think this is mainly because it's a small sort of shunter diesel, and it obviously uses drive wheels instead of normal, like where's Oliver? Yeah, it's not a diesel that uses this sort of wheel. I think that's what makes this a bit more fun. Oh, pardon me. I'm not gonna try and show off any details here. You can get a good look at this whilst I've got it on stream. But obviously this model will have its own dedicated mock showcase, and all of the close-ups will be done there. If I, one thing I do want to try and show off now though, there you go, you can see it. The grille details there. That was surprisingly simple to do. The wasp stripe lining was done this morning, and I think I did alright with them. Not really done this sort of lining detail before, but well, obviously I haven't because, you know, I don't do diesels. But even then, I still think that turned out pretty good. So yeah, Salty. It is a beautiful model to have on my railway. Again, it's a shame that there wasn't a push long toy for Salty because that means he doesn't go without a face. But as that's also explains why I've gone all in with the grille details there. So this is another model where, you know, it's similar to Spencer. Yes, it's Salty, but because there's no face, I can use this as a normal 07 shunter. Good deal, you know? Lovely. Who knew I would be that good at building diesels, you know? Right, back to the chat. Are those medium large drivers? No, they're just normal medium drivers. It's a set I was able to pinch. I think those, yeah, that set of medium drivers, these, can I, is it possible to show you? Oh, you kind of can see it. Let me open up another tab again. So if you look here and here, not well, and here as well, this will definitely help. So obviously you can see on the outside the wheels are black, but for the flange wheels on the inside it's dark grey. So these were naturally made in dark grey, and I thought, okay, I've got dark grey blind wheels as well. Seeing Salty with some dark grey wheels could be quite interesting. But I didn't know where they were, and it turns out these ones in particular were the medium wheels I took off of Duck. So yeah, that was something that was actually quite helpful because it freed up this set of drivers for the perfect model. So yeah, that was a thing. How did you build the black and yellow stripes? So everything was brick built in yellow, and all of the black details are done with model lining tape. So it's actually, I'll show you one more time. I don't want to keep showing you because again I want to save this all for the video. But as you can see here, well, it's actually not too easy to see, but all of this is just solid white bricks. And before I applied it to this place on the model, I should say, I was able to get all the lining tape done, again, using certain thicknesses to accomplish this look. And yeah, again, because I'm so natural when it comes to using lining tape, I was able to bash through this in, I want to say half an hour? It was not long at all. It was no way that was longer than half an hour. But yeah, all the same, pretty happy with that one. Magic Guys Studios, hello, welcome to the stream. Have you seen Stranger Things 4? No, but my mom is watching it. I think my dad is as well, and they definitely enjoy it. I'm still someone who doesn't really care to watch any kind of series anymore. I think I've lost interest in any series I wanted to watch previously. Uh, so again, it's like strange. I never got around to watching Stranger Things when it first came out. It's not my sort of thing, anyways. The Boys, I've basically seen all I want to see on YouTube, anyways. But speaking of series, let's have a quick conversation about Miss Marvel. Yeah, has anybody here seen Miss Marvel? Has anybody else also seen the ratings and all the reviews that people have given for Miss Marvel? So this is something that kind of bugs me because, well, it's bugged a lot of people, and there's a YouTuber called Angry Joe Show who says everything I want to feel about it perfectly. Now, Miss Marvel obviously has a different background to what we've normally seen with other MCU characters. You know, she's 16 years old. She has a Pakistani background, and the showrunners wanted to go about the sort of process of showing people sort of, you know, that walk of life. Basically, you know, a lot of people in today's world don't really know a world outside of theirs, which is an interesting thing to kind of take in, because you think, how do you not know this sort of thing exists, you know? But Miss Marvel on Rotten Tomatoes got a 98% rating. Now, I think that's mainly coming from people who are only giving it such rating because of the new direction for diversity that show is going in. That is something I would also like to celebrate, because, you know, that's a good thing. There's, again, more walks to life than a lot of people in today's world kind of recognize. But the story in the show makes I for the life of me could not tell you what. I've seen the series. I don't know what the story is. What is the motivation for the villains? Why are the villains so stupid? The villains are unbelievably weak in that series. They just want to go home, but they want to, like, they don't want to help Miss Marvel to help them. They'd rather kill everyone in the process. I think they die anyways. It looks like they die, but they could have just gone home anyway. I don't know. Gone home in the sense that the villains are from a different dimension and they have to travel through a veil to get home. And it's again, what was it, like episode 5? I think they managed to make their way like through the veil and go home. They just decide to randomly leave one of their own behind. Again, no idea why they would want to do that. They're just abandoning him in this dimension. But well, they did it. They showed up years ago, and now they're just dead and gone with zero motivations for anything they've ever done. There's no logic with them. The series moves at such a slow pace as well. It focuses more so on showing the diversity more than the story. And a lot of people have criticized it. And it's rightfully so. I mean, again, if you've seen Miss Marvel, there's a lot of things you will like and there's a lot of things you won't like. A lot of people, myself being one of these people, just got bored after episode 4. Episode 5, I think the director, I think, said that they were very nervous about how that episode was going to be revealed, because that was the backstory episode. But it also goes into a lot of how, what was it? I think it was British occupied India. I think that's where it was set, basically at the tail end of the Second World War. And it was also a lot of what the treatment of that time was like. And again, that's not a bad thing to show, but focusing on that instead of going on the stories, like, don't give me a history lesson, give me the story. You know, it was so daft, because going through that episode, I was just bored. There was no good backstory or development for any of the characters that were shown. It was, I really wanted to like it, but when it came to the end of episode 5, I before that final scene where the character that got left behind kind of appeared, like before that scene, I thought to myself, "Shit, is this like a 5 episode series? Normally there's 6 episodes. It's not a 5 episode series then." No, there is one more. There is an episode 6 with the other villains of this show. I suppose it was like the same legal team that went after Spider-Man in No Way Home. You know where Spider-Man he gets captured, and there's that bloke who kind of interrogates him and his mates. I think that's the same guy who was on the phone to boss lady who was ordering around a squad to make sure that Miss Marvel and pardon me, one of the villains got left behind. He's like who went from good guy to bad guy to good. Again, there's nothing kind of keeping it all together. It was just so daft. I think for the sake of episode 6, go watch Angry Joe Show's video reviewing episode 6 because again it says everything perfectly. So all in all, Miss Marvel, I don't know why people have given it such a high rating. It doesn't deserve that rating. It really doesn't, because um, the story is very weak. The villains are very weak. There's no motivations. There's no real development. Miss Marvel is not a bad character, but there's so much they could have done, but they focused on the diversity side of things, and that, for me at least, ruins it. Now, there's a lot of people who agree with such a statement, and because it's the internet, a lot of people would see that and go, "Oh my God, you're racist! You don't like this." Oh, for God's sakes, really, we going there? Yeah, it's a thing. A lot of people have been going after who. This is another thing as well, like woke people. That's something that I hear every now and then, but for the life, let's look it up right now. Woke Urban Dictionary, because a lot of people have been going after people saying, "Oh, it's so woke, it's all rubbish." Okay, Urban Dictionary: woke, spiritual and intellectual enlightenment, like waking up from a deep sleep. No, that's a different kind of. Is that what? I never knew what really mattered in life. Now I'm woke. Right. Okay. That still doesn't make sense. Okay. Fine. That's a thing. But yeah, there's a lot of people attacking others just because they didn't like certain aspects. They weren't praising it for the blind dweebs that they were. Oh, there's more. There's more. There's 4, 5, 6, 7. Jesus, there's loads of different. Urban Dictionary has like 7 descriptions for woke, and there's 5 pages. Is that the case for every word? Oh my lord above. Right, let's move on from that because, good lord, my brain is already melting from the heat. I don't need it to melt any further from this stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the chats. Are you excited for Spider-Man freshman year? I haven't seen any advertisements for it. Is it a live action thing? Spider-Man? Oh yeah, it's a Marvel Studios thing. It's animated, isn't it? It's not coming. Animated American Web series. Yeah, animated series. So it's going to be on Disney Plus. Oh, it's gonna be good. Follows Peter Parker from becoming on his way to becoming Spider-Man. So it follows main MCU Spider-Man Peter Parker on his way into becoming Peter Parker. That will be interesting because we were obviously introduced to Spider-Man in Civil War back in 2016. And when we were introduced to the character, he said he had the powers for 6 months and, the radioactive spider thing will happen. But in Spider-Man No Way Home, it was confirmed that Oscorp didn't exist in the MCU. So how did he get his powers in the first place? If that series is going to explore that, I would be very intrigued to see what that's like. Magic Eye Studios then goes on to say, what was the first Lego train you got? Assuming you mean Lego train set, it was 2009's Emerald Knight. I remember seeing it in one of those magazine catalogues. It was only £70 as well back in 2009. What a time, But yeah, that was the first Lego train set I got. You should bootleg CinemaSins. I haven't watched anything from CinemaSins in a very long time. I unsubbed because they started doing a bunch of films that nobody ever heard of. Like all the big films were just a bit too stupid. Well, I'm a bit hesitant to swear, but that word, yeah. They were a bit too do proper sins of. But I suppose that was more part of the fun. Maybe I should rewatch some CinemaSins. That'd be good. Why did you decide to join YouTube? So, okay. This is a little over 10 years ago now. This is quite the amazing story. So, me and a friend of mine from secondary school, we were 14 at the time, or about to, we both had just turned 14, and we said to ourselves, look, a lot of people are making videos on YouTube. I've got something we can put on YouTube. You've got something you can put on YouTube. We can make our videos. Let's make a video and put them on. Yeah, why not? We can do that. I said to him, yeah, you know what? All right, you can like straight away. You convinced me, and there's no way his videos are still up. And my original videos from the beginning days are gone as well. Lego Railway series. Thank you so much for sticking around as long as you have. I'll see you soon. But yes, with my friend from secondary school. He's at RK as well. Okay, thank you again for sticking around for as long as you have. I will see you when I see you. So he says to me, okay, we're gonna, if you got something you can make a video of, record it. Why not? And we can put it on YouTube. Other people can make videos so easily. We can too. This was 2014 as well. So I don't remember what the YouTube scene was like back then, but it was enough for us to kind of go for it. Again, I made a video on some Legos, like Fast and Furious style sort of cars, and he did a video on like a Terminator sculpture sort of thing, the sort of thing that you would kind of buy from a comic book store, that sort of sculpture. And yeah, it kind of just went from there. Obviously, here I am on YouTube 10 years later, still going, still doing Lego stuff. My friend from the secondary school, has definitely moved on, like from like I don't know, nothing more than a couple of months on the platform. It wasn't really his sort of thing, but he's the one who got me into uploading in the first place. So yeah, that's how I kind of got into uploading in the first place, just because I was convinced to do so by one of my friends. Why did you go with Lego trains instead of HO or wooden railway? I was never really a model train person. My dad is, but I wasn't. I was, again, think back to early teen years. I'm not exactly someone who will have the money to buy a lot of model train stuff and have the space to kind of make such a layout in the first place. I did have wooden railway things, but it wasn't really anything to show off. When you look at the sort of mock showcase videos I do nowadays, it's a presentation of something I've made. If I did a video with wooden railway stuff, I think it probably still goes somewhere. But the problem is I didn't see anything in it. So whilst I've got wooden railway stuff, it's not something I would probably go to make videos with. Even now, I did a video like a year or two ago where I found my Trackmaster and Play Rail toys. I kind of just got them out, had a bit of fun. That was his own sort of nostalgia video. Maybe I'll do something like that for the wooden trains I've got. I think they're down here. They're somewhere. But yeah, it's just not something I've ever kind of cared to do anything with, because I don't really see the personal appeal and wanted to do a video on that. Yes, there are people that would like to see such a video, but it's not worth making a video for people if you yourself don't want to make it in the first place. Which is a bit of a sucky thing to say, but it's more true than you realize. That's a good tangent as well. But first of all, refreshment. Still plenty cold. Seth, are you leaving as well? I said goodbye to the two that were leaving. I don't know if that was just another goodbye. Oh no, Seth, you're still here. Okay. I thought everyone was leaving. No, we still got 20 minutes. But he then goes on to say, I originally started out making road vehicles out of Lego, but I didn't have a studio back then. And they turned out to be blocked. Yeah, where is it? Oh, I don't know where it is. I would love to just run off and go grab a model just to talk about it. But I think it's still on my channel as well, where I made a Plymouth Superbird. And it's very square. It's not really got any kind of special curve. Like, you could definitely tell it was a Plymouth Superbird, aka the King from the Cars film. But I put it next to some of the Speed Champions cars we have, Oh my god, there's a massive jump in build quality. It's not a bad model, but it's not a good one either. I would love to see, personally, if I had any kind of control at Lego. Okay, let me restart this. Let's say I was brought in to add a couple of products to an existing Lego theme. I can't do anything railway related. Let's just say that's like nothing railway related. That's off the table for this sakes. I would love to add some Pixar cars to the Speed Champions line. Get Lightning McQueen in there, get Jackson Storm in there, get the King in there. You know, oh, pardon me, just random interruption. But you know those four delinquent road hazards, you know, Boost, Wingo, DJ, and Snot Rod. The fact that they got loads of cool cars, they're basically pimped out modified cars. That in Speed Champion form, I would love to see them. That would be the coolest. I would buy them in a heartbeat. I'd probably buy a bunch of them just to store them up because I'd be a bit of a greedy git in that sort of case. But man, some of the Disney Pixar cars characters in Speed Champions build style, that would be cool. Speed Champions Major, yeah. Speed Champions Major. Go through all the characters. When the Pixar Cars film had like merch, when they were making their merchandise, you know, all those die-cast cars, they made a die-cast car for every character, every background character you saw. Doesn't matter if they were on screen for just 2 seconds. It was there. It got a character, and it was the best thing ever. If diecast can do that, I would love to see a Lego version for every single character too. Obviously, the more obscure characters wouldn't be that heavily built, but it would be cool to see some cars, or even at least take the real life basis. Like Doc, yes, a fabulous Hudson Hornet in Lego would be unbelievably cool. I would love to see that. But yeah, that's something that's been on my mind. It's not really been on my mind, so to say, but that's an every now and then thought. I'll kind of think to myself, man, I wish Speed Champions Lightning McQueen, you know, it doesn't even have to have the eyes across the window. It could just be a normal car that could still, obviously, it's the character, but would definitely fit a minifigure inside. That could still work. Why, why not? Come on, get the car's license back. That'd be good. Oh, that's put me in a good mood now, you know. Speed Champions Major though. Oh my god, the speed. Oh, like I would love to see. Okay, with the at least with the first film, you could definitely do this with the third film as well, I suppose. Where obviously NASCAR they have stock cars, and whilst over the years there have been a bunch of different stock car designs. At least with the Cars film, there was Lightning McQueen's car, and there were two different stock car designs. I would like it if there was just like a kit where you had the parts to build one, but you could swap out certain parts with different colored ones. So you basically have it's like a 3-in-1 sort of thing. You definitely have the base shape there, but you can take off a bunch of pieces and change it with different colored ones to say, okay, you can go from a blue one, or you can take off these parts and put these other ones on to have a yellow one. You know, that sort of thing, basically. I think that would be a very cool idea. It would probably not be in Speed Champions, and I think that would be a very interesting thing to try and figure out. So you'd have to be kind of basic in some areas if you're gonna just have. That reminds. Oh, so many ideas. Okay, this actually reminds me back in the day as well. In the Lego Racers series, there was a theme called Tiny Turbos, and I would love to kind of recollect every Tiny Turbo because they were so cool. But anyway, there was also this sort of time where I bought a bunch of Tiny Turbos, and you could put two together to make a crazy long car. And I remember having like a custom version, like a mock version of one of those crazy long cars, but the sort of front section was like I found out it was easy to remove. So I rebuilt a bunch of different front ends from different cars and other set designs and whatever else to kind of go on the front. So I think if if that design of a Speed Champions car where you can change it to be the same shape but different colors, just build it up in like in different sections where instead of just taking off or planking off a bunch of different tiles and bricks to change them with different color ones, just have it so you can just take off a section, like the entire hood of the car can just come off in one section, and you replace it with another built one that's just in a bunch of different colors. Why not? Oh, gotta do it. Got to do it. Do you remember the old single-piece plastic pullback cars Lego released ages ago? Yes, I think this was also in the Racers theme, and they were about, I don't know, say that wide, maybe that long, about something like that tall. But yeah, they were not bad cars. I definitely remember getting, like, I think they came in waves of 4. There was definitely a full wave that I got because they were, again, really cool. And yeah, they definitely had these things where you can just push them along the floor and they would definitely be, cars you could play with. But if you move them back, it would wind up a motor in the back, and if you let go, it would kind of dart forward on its own. Well, for a certain distance. But that was, yeah, that was something I remember getting too. There's a number of them. I've got a number of those. What would you? They're not motors, but sort of units, I suppose. I got a lot of those units, probably in the dark grey box underneath my bed here. But yeah, they were pretty good. They were. I also remember one of the sets that had that sort of thing going on. It had a black unit in it instead, but it wasn't one of those ones where you pulled it back and let go and it would drive off. It kind of had a sort of, what would you describe it as? It's the sort of thing where, when you kind of wind up a toy, you kind of rush it along the floor a couple of times to make sure that you get the wheel spinning. It would kind of have that sort of whirring sound and eventually slow down and stop. There was no wind-up feature for this one in particular, and I don't think that was really popular because of it. I don't know if it was an experimental thing, but I remember being very disappointed at that. So yeah, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna have to look into buying some tiny turbos again because tiny turbos, they really were the best. I might go on eBay and Facebook Marketplace and Bricklink to see if there's any tiny turbos I can find. Also, the new Hogwarts Express has a release date for August 31st. Really? The last day of a month? Normally it's the first of every month that something new gets released. August 31st. Oh, okay. I'd lean towards September 1st more so if that's the case, but yeah, okay, fair enough. This is the crazy $400 one, isn't it? Maybe, are there any pictures of it yet? That's from 6 weeks ago. There are pictures of it. Where? Link it in the chat ASAP, if you can. Let's try and find it as well. Images. No, that's not the sets. That's British Bricks design. You meant yesterday. Oh, yes, it's $400. Oh, you got me excited, man. That's all right though. But yeah, it's only a matter of time before images eventually get leaked. Oh, come on, Lego. I want to see this. This has me genuinely really intrigued because of that price. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't care so much about the station that it comes with, or necessarily the quality of the coach either. I want to see how they built the locomotive, because that is the real deciding factor as to how good this set is going to do. I'll have to look it up another time, I suppose. The reviewer, hello, good to see you. Glad you were able to make it to the stream. Catching the last 10 minutes of the stream as well. That's pretty much everything I have really for the stream. I've shown off all the models. Everything I want to talk about has been discussed. Xantheras. Who is that? Is that another YouTube man? Time to do some more research, I suppose. We'll just type it in on YouTube here. Yeah, there's his channel. Okay. He's got it in the banner of his video, of his channel as well. That looks old as well. Some of those techniques, you know. Mock rebuild. Yeah, I've seen this video. That's not a bad model as well, you know. That's still a very good thing. The thing is, if the model we get in the set looks like this, I'd be happy because it really does look like the engine. The only thing to remember is with how Lego kind of make and price their sets anyways, it's a case of the reason why the model looks so naff in the first place is because it has to be that case in order for it to not be stupidly expensive. But because this is a stupid expensive set, it has to be a damn good model. So yeah, it's the model is good for its time. Yeah, again, that I just well, not watched the video, but I got it up. It was hang on, when was it uploaded? In the search results, it said 3 years ago. When was it uploaded? Okay, this video will be exactly 4 years old in about 5 days. Okay. So it's basically 4 years old now at this point. But yeah, I do see what you mean when it kind of shows its age. My version of the Hogwarts Express was built in 2020. So it's kind of shows its age as well. But it's not a bad model as, you know, in its own right. I think it's because I've also got lining on my model and all the details there. Kind of brings out a little bit more. The review says, "What film do you want me to review? Anything. Why not? You seem to be the reviewer after all, so review as much as you can. Review what you enjoy." Let's go with that answer. I'm hoping this is going to be Lego's wake-up call for larger wheels and realistic rods. Realistic rods, no, because that is very specific. They could probably make a piece for it to suits. They might, but I seriously doubt it. But for larger wheels, potentially, if there was ever going to be a Lego train, or if there was ever going to be a train set that Lego would make that could include larger drive wheels, it's this set. This is the set to go all in for it. But that's the thing again. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, I don't care for the station. If they go for Hogsmeade or King's Cross, I genuinely don't care, because that's not something that I'm interested in. The coach, again, you could design your own coach in your own specific way. There's a lot of great coach designs out there, but the main focus is going to be the locomotive. So if they design the locomotive with the standard large the standard large design of drive wheel, I think I'd be okay with it, so long as the main body of the locomotive looks okay. I could be very forgiving of what wheel size they use, just so long as the engine looks good. I think if the engine is released with like XL size drive wheels, which is kind of the standard size that a lot of people use for that locomotive in particular, it would definitely get a lot of positive votes because of that factor alone. So that's definitely something to consider, but also to consider this. I am one of many people who are having their hopes high for this set. In some aspects more than others. Again, for me, I'm focusing mostly on the locomotive, but we just need to wait for the images for the set to come out now. I still think that it will be an excellent set. I'm definitely going to be getting one, but you know, it's only a matter of time. I'm uploading a Young Ones review next Tuesday. The Young Ones. Is that what I think it is? I think I remember watching Young Ones. I found the again, if that is Young Ones TV, yeah, that's it. Again, the first episode I discovered with oh, it's BBC. I might be able to watch this on could you watch this on iPlayer? Oh my god, I might actually do that if it's possible. Oh, this was a fun show. Yeah, I discovered the Young Ones through a parody of Thomas sort of footage. They took clips from a bunch of different episodes where some of the characters had certain facial reactions, and they kind of put it in tune to one of the episodes about a TV license, and it was very funny. Oh man, yeah, I might have to try and watch that later on tonight because that is again a very funny show. They could go pre-2010 style with the wheels. No, don't say that, you turd. Would you react to my review? I would watch your review, but I won't do a reaction to it because I'm still someone who is very careful when it comes to copyright stuff. Um, Even if you gave me full permission to use your video for a reaction sakes, I don't think I would kind of be comfortable doing it anyways. Again, there's a lot of things where I kind of have to check volume stuff. I think for me it'll be a bit too much hassle. I don't necessarily have the sort of appropriate tech setup anyway to do a full-on reaction. So I'd watch it, but I won't do a reaction if that makes sense. Speaking of, that's so many good segues into today's live stream. So just before this stream ends, I'm going to quickly make it known that my next video is being uploaded tomorrow. I wanted to make sure that I got through all of the Tlr Awards stuff before I get back to regularly scheduled uploads. Behind me over there, I have all of the prizes for the Tlr Awards all boxed up. They're going to be shipped tomorrow. Going to be a very good time to finally get the prizes sent out. It's going to be a bloody expensive one as well because obviously shipping internationally is going to cost a lot of money. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. But with tomorrow's video, having mentioned that I want to be careful when it comes to YouTube and copyright and that sort of thing, after seeing British Brick's video of his current Lego train fleet, I thought to myself, I should probably do the same thing because I'm currently on 3,720 subscribers, and a lot of them, or at least some of the more, what's the word? Some of the more active and interactive members are recent ones. So chances are, if they joined in the past year or so, they probably found my channel through the Lego Thomas characters I made, but they haven't seen some of the older models I've made. They haven't seen any of the more realistic ones, or chances are they haven't seen any of the real or any of the Thomas characters at all. So I went ahead and made my own sort of full fleet showcase video, and it does include music. Now, I was able to get the music from the YouTube audio library. So because that's from YouTube themselves, it should be okay to use in a video. So if there is going to be any copyright issues tomorrow, then the entire video is going to end up getting muted, which is going to be a little bit embarrassing, you know, but I'm still very, very happy with the video that I was able to make. It's, what was it, about 12 minutes long, I want to say? It's somewhere, we'll find out in a second, and we'll just wait for it to load. Yeah, so almost 13 minutes long of me just showcasing all of my Lego trains one at a time. There's no commentary, there's not a single point in the video where I'm actually talking. It's just showing the model one at a time, a little sort of graphic on the side showcasing some of the necessary details about the model. Some nice music I was able to find in YouTube's audio library, just going off in the background. It's very like a very positive sort of vibe thing. I was able to kind of find that sort of piece of music for the video, and it's technically now out of date because I've been building more models. But yeah, it's just every single Lego train I've built, both real ones and Thomas characters, and it's a great way of me making this sort of update, I suppose, to say to people, instead of doing a whole list of links to kind of say to people, okay, if anybody who is a subscriber of mine but has only been subscribed for 6 months to a year, chances are you haven't gone back through my video catalog to watch some of my older stuff. And that's a natural thing for people to do. When people subscribe to a new channel, chances are they're not going to go back through their channel to see some of their other videos. I've done that before as well. I'm totally guilty of it. But again, it's a very natural thing for people to do. So a lot of people are going to watch this video and hopefully, again, very hopefully, at least with one model that comes on screen, they're going to look at that and go, hang on a minute, you've built that? Oh, that's so cool. I'm also going to leave links to all of the individual showcase videos in the description to kind of hopefully build up a bit more traffic. So yeah, I'm going to be doing an all ping tomorrow on Discord too to kind of make this video known, because again, I do have a lot of subscribers here on YouTube, again over 3,700. It's still something for me to kind of take a step back and go, oh my god, this many people like what I do. But yeah, it's still fascinating where I don't really get the could you build this train comment anymore, but some of the later ones were, well, when I got the could you build X train out of Lego, my response would usually be, no, that's not the sort of train I would want to build. But with some of the later ones, it was, I've actually already made that. Here's a link to that video. Now, whether they actually click the link to watch my video or not is something I can never tell. But the fact that more, or again, in later times, it's more frequent for me to say, I've actually already built this, instead of saying, no, I don't want to build this. It's quite fascinating because, again, it shows that a lot of people who like the content that I make aren't going back to see other stuff I've built. So this should be a very good sort of catch-up video. I'm really hoping this does well. We'll find out tomorrow, I suppose. Again, this is going to be going up tomorrow, and should be a good time. Right then, it has just gone past 9 o'clock. I'll catch up with chat one more time. So Seth says, also in regards to the community challenge, are custom models allowed? Yes. I saw your model that you posted in the Discord server earlier today. Not quite the Steam streamlined model I was expecting, but still an interesting thing to see in the first place. Technically, it does kind of count in the sense that that sort of, like, when you cut a ball and have that sort of half dome shape at the front, there was a streamlined Great Western design that had that feature at the very front. Very sort of ugly bullet looking thing, but it's a thing, so I definitely recognize it, and that definitely made me giggle. But yes, custom models fully allowed. I am also hoping, potentially, in the next 10 days before the community challenge gets cut off, that we do see a streamlined tender engine. Like, please, somebody make a streamlined tender engine, even if it's your own custom design. I really want to see it, just come on. Art Deco streamliners. Is that so much to ask? Is that so much to ask? Yes, I am doing a British Bricks style video. It was a very interesting thing to make. I didn't have to worry about any background noise. I didn't have to do another take of something I've already done. It was just everything I recorded was done in one take. Well, it's not a one take video, but in the sense that once I've got this shot, I can keep that because it's perfectly clean. So yeah, there was that. And again, with all the audio stuff, I've got some music going instead of me talking to the audience through that video. So it should be pretty good. And you're nearly finished with your P2. Very interesting. Obviously, I am hoping to see some pictures of the completed model either on Flickr or Discord. I think the P2 was a model that's kind of picked up around the time where this happened the same thing with the W1. So I remember seeing British Bricks P2. Like when he first made it without any decals, I thought that's a pretty cool model. I want to build one. It was originally built 6 wide and eventually got to 7 wide, and now I have the version I have today. And then I saw a couple of other people make a P2. There was, I think it was Scott Nick on Flickr. I think he made one. LUKR member Joe, who runs Breckland Bricks, he has one. I have only seen his P2 like passing through in videos. He hasn't got any proper pictures of it yet, so that's a thing to ask him for one day. And again, I think it was just a locomotive that started to pop up a little bit more. I definitely remember seeing a few more on Flickr. So yeah, it would be nice to see some more of a very fascinating looking locomotive. It'll be done in time for the community challenge. Lovely, excellent. Right then, I will have to call it here because we have gone over time by quite a bit. That train kid, oh hello. You've arrived just in time to say goodbye. It's yeah, the stream's about to end. It's the worst timing, but at least you're able to make it, and I appreciate that so much. Isaac made one too. Yeah, he did. Man, Isaac, you should get back into making Lego trains. Isaac, you're not watching this, but for goodness sakes, man, put your animation career on hold for a bit. Make another train, for goodness sakes. We miss you. Don't be sorry at all. It's not an issue. It really isn't a problem. Time zones and all that stuff, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. But genuinely, I'm very happy to see they were able to make it, even if it is on the tail end of this stream. Speaking of which, I should have... get rid of that one. Just upload. Where are my stream notes? I had stream notes at one point. There they are. That has now officially concluded. Okay, now we can do the outro. So thank you thank you everyone so much for watching. It is always a blast to do these live streams because the interaction with my subscriber base is always a lot of fun to do. So to anybody who isn't a member of my Discord server, make sure you click the link at the top of the description to join the server to interact with other like-minded fans of Lego trains and Nerf blasters. Also taking place in the Discord server is the Community Challenge, a monthly Lego building challenge that encourages people who build Lego trains to build models of a certain theme. At the end of each month, all those models are collected for a grand showcase video, and that repeats every month with a different theme. So if you want to take part, again, follow the description in the Discord server. Also linked in the description is a link to my Instagram and Flickr pages. I post on there fairly regularly with some behind the scenes and sneak peeks for current and future projects. I have posted on my story on Instagram recently about some of the models I have rebuilt. I'm probably going to post that again later on Flickr or Instagram just to kind of keep those posts a bit more permanent. But yes, if you want to see me on another social page, then consider following me there. Make sure you are keeping an eye out on my YouTube community tab for polls and updates. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Make sure you have subscribed if you have not already. And I will see you all in tomorrow's upload. Very big video coming out tomorrow. I really hope you will stick around to watch it. Thanks again, everyone. I will see you then. There we go.